It's really absolutely fantastic to be here. And yesterday evening I was actually at the WI in Bethnal Green. So there's quite a variety of places that I'm sort of talking at the minute, which is great. And first I must thank Tina and Francis for inviting me, because it's a real honour to be here and to be speaking to all of you. Tamina said that you might be slightly interested to know a little bit about me. I mean, really, I want to tell you about the campaign, but I am told that people quite like to hear a little bit about the person who's standing up there. So, I was a business executive in the hotel and tourism industry, and I had some fantastic jobs that took me all over the world, involved in finance and hotel developments and stuff like that. 4 of the jobs I ever did, I was the first woman to do them. So I have had experience of working in predominantly male environments. I've also had experience because every time I went for a job that had never been done by a woman before, the question is, well, do you think a woman can do that job? And most definitely, I would say yes, I can do that job. There was concern at one point because I was travelling all over the world, nice people, nice men, said to me, well, we're just concerned about a woman travelling by herself all over the world. And I said, please don't worry on my account. I've done that before, and it's absolutely fine. So that's what that's the work I was doing for about 20 years. I then got married and had kids. Now, women's lives change slightly when that happens, and this international career that I had went on the back burner. And in fact, I then decided that I would train to be an antenatal teacher and help women and their partners, men, prepare for birth and early parenthood, which is a fantastic job and something that it's another passion of mine. And I love it. I teach at home. I have men and women coming to my house, and it's great seeing men around the kitchen table changing baby nappies while they're long, preparing for parenthood and stuff, and the support that they might give in family life. And in the meantime, I also got exceptionally frustrated with the booking system that the organisation I'm involved with was working. So I set up an online booking company called Birth Education Network. And this was at the very early days of the internet. And I love the world that we live in. I love all this new technology. I didn't know about social media until about a year ago. I love it. The possibility, the possibilities that this presents is fantastic. And people have said, change will happen, and it will change will happen at twice the speed now because of the benefits that these opportunities provide. So, that's a little bit about me. So why 50-50? And I need to slow down because I never talk like clappers. Why 50-50? Because I kind of discovered that actually, once I became a mother, my life changed completely. And I love being a mother. I absolutely love being a parent. It's been a privilege to bring my children up. But my old life was quite different, and my husband, to some extent, was still living the life that I had previously led. And it just seemed to me that somehow Parliament didn't kind of quite get the life that I was leading. But I didn't think too much about it until one day my 8-year-old daughter came bounding out of school, and she said to me, "Oh, Mum, I've been elected to school council." I said, "Great," because I knew that was something she had been longing to do. She'd been elected, and it meant that people liked her and that kind of stuff. I said, "Are you representing the class?" She said, "Oh, no, Mum. There's always 2 people from each class, 1 boy and 1 girl. Because you know what? The boys' toilets get messy, and the girls don't understand that problem. And the boys don't quite grasp the nuances of whether girls should wear skirts or trousers as uniform. So we have different opinions and different experiences. So it's always a gender balance, which shouldn't be quite like that. But I just I kind of thought, well, ka-ching, ka-ching. They can get it right at primary school. Wouldn't that be nice if we had, 1 man, 1 woman, gender balance in our parliament? And I thought this was a great idea. I was walking home and talking to people about it, and everyone said, "Oh, really? No, why worry? As you say, no one was particularly worried." So I shut up a bit. And then my kids were watching that film, a film called Babe the Sheep Pig. I'm not sure whether I should mention that at this point. Has anyone seen that film? Yes. Okay, good. Because some people don't understand what I'm talking about. Because apparently it came out a long time ago now. Seems like yesterday. Anyway, so in Babe the Sheep Pig, okay, there are a whole load of cows chewing the cud, and they're sort of chewing away. The way things are is the way things are, they say. You know, so we just carry on. The way things are is the way things are. But there's a duck in that film, and he's going to be killed for Christmas. So he doesn't feel so happy about the way things are, and he wags his tail and says in frustration, "Well, the way things are stinks." And you know what? That's kind of how I was feeling. Everyone was telling me, "Well, the way things are is the way things are." I'm like, no, I don't like the way things are. Anyway, about a year or so later, I heard Tony Benn on the radio, and he was being interviewed because his granddaughter was standing to be an MP of Brighton, and he was asked, "Do you think there are enough women in the House of Commons?" And he said no. I mean, I didn't know about his memorial plaque at that point to Emily Davison. He said no, and there never will be till we have gender equality of representation, and that is one man and one woman from each constituency. And I thought, oh, good, someone out there does feel the same as me. And that made me feel a bit better. And then, again, a bit later, Jeremy Paxman was being interviewed, and Jeremy Paxman was interviewing Russell Brand, and of course Russell Brand, you know, we won't go there. Anyway, a week later, PM programme, Eddie Mair puts up a stint about politics. And the very first day, a man phoned up with a Yorkshire accent called David Rhodes, and I would love to meet David Rhodes because I want to shake his hand. And he said, how about this for an idea for better gender balance in the House of Commons? And he basically gave Tony Benn's idea. And there was a professor of politics from Oxford called Vernon Bogdanor, and a professor of politics from Cambridge called David Runciman, who both debated this idea. And both men thought it was an interesting and good idea, and said it was perfectly workable. In fact, Vernon Bogdanor said, "The life experience of women is bound to be different to that of men, not superior or inferior, but different. And that needs to be represented in Parliament." Well, I thought, hey, there are professors of politics from Oxford and Cambridge who think this is not a bad idea. By which time my family was getting really frustrated because I kept talking about it. And my daughter, by this time 21, says to me, "Mum, stop talking about it, do something." Like the No More Page 3 campaign, and this is why technology is amazing, she says, put up a petition on change.org. The petition is called change.org/5050 Parliament, and see if anyone else agrees with you. Stop talking about it. So I did, and there are days when technology works and there are days when it doesn't, and it worked beautifully. It was incredible. So, you know, we are asking for a debate. We're asking Parliament to sort its house out, a bit like Vince Cable has asked boards to include more women on boards. We're not prescribing the solution. We're just saying, please have a debate and come up with action to get better gender balance. Because, as you know, you've already heard the figures. You know, women are actually majority in life, but they're a minority in Parliament. We're only 23% of MPs. There are 502 men sitting on those green benches right now. There have only ever been 370 women. So there are more men with seats now than there have ever been women. Now people say to me, well, it will change. And it is changing. But on the basis of the last 3 elections, when on average we've only had 8 extra women at a time, it will take over 100 years for us to get gender parity. And okay, I mean, by the way, I was in statistics, so you know, I analyse things a lot. So let's spread it a bit. So let's take 4 years, 4 elections, which would include that great election when the number of female MPs doubled. And I won't say that we had Blair's ... anyway. But anyway, it went up from 60 to 120 in 1997. And everyone thought, hooray, the problem's solved. But actually, if we include that in the average, it will take 50 years. The point is, I want this change in my lifetime. I've always felt before I examined this particular problem, that we had equality. But we don't. And even the UN says, Rashida Manjoo, who came last year, she said, you know, there is a sexist old boys network in existence. And, you know, the gender, I think it's the World Economic Forum, says that the UK has fallen from 26 to 18 in ranking for gender equality. So we really are, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, and thank heaven we live in a country where free speech is possible. In my opinion, this is something that needs to be dealt with. And the reason I think it matters is, as I say, you know, it's about diversity. We need to draw upon that diversity to build a better society. And better balance is not an impossible dream. We only need 177 women from a population of 32 million. I know being an MP might not be the kind of, you know, a career path that appeals to many people, but we only need 1 in 100,000 women. And I really can't see that as being a problem. Why does it matter? It's my time. Okay. Please tell me if I'm talking too long, because I could go on forever about the subject. But, okay, why does it matter? Resources. Women are 51% of the population, so they must be at least 50% of the brain power. You know, we have a wealth of experience and talents in paid and unpaid work. We're 50% of graduates and 60% of law graduates. As Ed Miliband said, there are 4 R's. So the first is resources. The second is representation. As Ed Miliband said, representation shapes policy. We need better policy about equal pay, and thank heaven, Sarah Champion has been championing that cause. You know, our Parliament decided to keep pay private. The European Parliament has said it should be public. Sarah Champion has been saying we need to make it public. How can we find out if we're not paid the same if it's not public? Anyway, fortunately, it's going through, but it's taken a while. Sexism at work. To bring a case of sexism at work costs more than the compensation you will ever be paid. And I won't go on. Responsibility. It is our world too. Women are 51% of the population, and you know we need to be involved in welfare, environment, transport, economics, and it's respect. You know, we need Parliament to demonstrate respect for women, so that society demonstrates respect for women. It will ripple across. The effects will ripple across the society. Having put this petition up, I was invited by the Speaker to for lunch, because he was launching a report called the All-Party Parliamentary Group Report, Improving Parliament. The 3rd paragraph of that report says that all political parties are united in belief that gender parity is crucial for a more aspirational, modern, representative Parliament. So Parliament thinks the same. David Cameron says this is fantastically important and they do to do much more. And Ed Miliband says representation matters. So I just plead with you, please, to look at the petition and consider signing it. You can put your comments on it. Andrew says, because getting more women running our country will undoubtedly make it better. John says, I'm signing this petition so the quality of governance of our society is enriched to become fairer and wiser. Susanna says, I believe women bring an alternative view. So there we are, and thank you very much indeed for listening.